Money works because everyone agrees it works. The second that agreement dies, the paper in your pocket turns into a decorative fire starter. After a real collapse, after the lights don't come back and the systems quietly bleed out, value doesn't disappear, it mutates. And if you're still thinking like a consumer instead of a survivor, you'll be rich right up until you're helpless. Here's the uncomfortable truth nobody likes to say out loud. After collapse, survival isn't about having more stuff. It's about having the right forms of leverage, things that solve problems when no institution exists to solve them for you. Things that keep you alive, invisible, useful, or feared just enough to be left alone. The first thing that eclipses money almost instantly is clean water. Not bottled water with a brand name and an expiration date, but the ability to make water safe. Your body can survive weeks without food, but only days without water, and dehydration doesn't kill heroically. It shuts your organs down quietly. Water purification works because biology is cruelly simple. Bacteria, protozoa, and viruses don't care about your plans. Boiling disrupts proteins. Filtration removes organisms by size. Chemical purification breaks cell walls. Anyone who controls a reliable method of turning questionable water into drinkable water controls time, mobility, and life itself. This section is based on practical field survival experience rather than formal academic sources. Right behind water comes medical knowledge. Not supplies, knowledge. Bandages run out, pills expire. But understanding how to stop bleeding, recognize infection, set a splint, or improvise antiseptics turns you into something more valuable than armed muscle. In collapse conditions, most deaths don't come from dramatic injuries. They come from untreated cuts, dehydration complications, and infections that modern medicine usually cleans up quietly. The physics here are simple. Blood loss reduces oxygen delivery. Infection triggers systemic inflammation, and the body spirals. If you can interrupt that spiral, people will protect you, or trade with you, or hesitate before hurting you. Then there's energy. Not electricity from the grid, but controlled heat and power. Fire becomes currency. Not chaotic fire, but managed fire. The ability to generate heat safely means warmth, sterilization, light, cooking, and morale. Small-scale power. Hand-crank generators, solar chargers, mechanical advantage, keeps radios alive, preserves information, and allows coordination beyond shouting distance. Energy works because entropy is relentless. Systems decay. Energy is the tool that slows decay long enough for humans to function. Next comes skills that replace machines. Modern life outsourced competence. After collapse, competence comes roaring back into fashion. Repair skills, mechanical intuition, basic engineering. Knowing how to keep something working past its intended lifespan turns junk into infrastructure. A broken pump isn't trash if you understand pressure, seals, and flow. A dead vehicle isn't dead if you know combustion, fuel delivery, and improvisation. This isn't about being a genius. It's about being useful when nothing is user-friendly anymore. Food itself matters, but not the way people imagine. Stockpiles vanish, farms fail. What becomes valuable is the ability to produce calories sustainably and quietly. Foraging knowledge, small-scale agriculture, animal handling, preservation techniques like drying and fermentation. All of these exploit biology's tendency toward regeneration if treated correctly. Food systems collapse because they rely on timing and fuel. Local, low-energy food production works because sunlight is free and plants don't need permission to grow. Then there's information. Not internet rumors or archived entertainment, but actionable, localized knowledge, maps, weather patterns, seasonal cycles, human behavior. Knowing which areas flood, which routes bottleneck, which groups control which territory gives you predictive power. Humans are pattern machines. When systems fail, patterns become survival tools. Information works because it lets you act before danger arrives, not after it announces itself. Security isn't just weapons. Weapons are loud. What becomes more valuable is situational awareness. The ability to see without being seen, to hear patterns, to read tension. to avoid becoming interesting. Violence is costly in calories, risk, and consequences. People who understand this last longer. Biology again. Adrenaline sharpens senses but destroys fine motor control. Calm, trained awareness beats panic every time. Finally, the most uncomfortable currency of all, trust. Not blind trust, not naive cooperation, but reputation earned through consistency. Humans survive in groups because cooperation beats isolation over time. After collapse, people remember who shared water, who fixed things, who didn't panic, who didn't betray. Trust reduces the need for constant vigilance, which reduces energy expenditure, which increases survival odds. It's not moral philosophy, it's evolutionary math. Collapse doesn't erase value, it strips away illusions. Money stops working because it solves abstract problems. Survival requires solving physical ones. Hydration, injury, heat, calories, information, security, cooperation. When those needs dominate, the currencies that address them rise naturally. If you prepare only by hoarding objects, you prepare to be robbed. If you prepare by understanding systems, biological, physical, social, you prepare to adapt. And in a world where the rules quietly changed overnight, adaptability is the only currency that never crashes. Listen carefully. The future doesn't reward the richest. It rewards the most useful.